Hey guys, what's up? It's Lodash here, and this is the final episode of the Henry Stickmin Collection. So, I will be reading all the bios. So, after I crashed that last time, I forgot to start recording until I read up to. I read all the way up to him before I realized it wasn't recording. So that last part is actually recorded. I recorded the live stream, and then I'm just gonna redo this part. So, Henry Stickmin. He's short on cash, so it's time to get some. Not to be confused with Henry Stickman. Chad Henson. Fresh out of college, guarding a bank sounds awesome. Unfortunately, this job happens to be in the middle of nowhere. Billy Collin. Billy's been working as a guard at this bank vault for 5 years now. He loves the baddest look of the uniform. Ted McAdams, the driver of the bank truck. He and Winston have been partners for many years. Ted has always been the driver. Winston Davis. He always rides shotgun in the bank truck. He prefers looking at the scenery rather than focusing on the road. Henry Stickmin. Arrested for the attempted burglary of the bank, he now sits in Red Mesa Penitentiary. Rupert Price. He's been on the force for nearly 8 years. He joined the police academy right out of high school. Dave Hanpa. He's new to the force and eager to do a good job. Harold Ronson. He's worked as the prison janitor, but he also enjoys doing their maintenance work. Blade Knifeman McGee. Serving multiple life sentences for multiple counts of murder, he gave himself the nickname Knife Man. Kev Portley. He only became a cop because he knows cops eat donuts, and he loves donuts. You won't catch him doing much police work. Stump Lump. He was beat up a lot as a child because of his name, for obvious reasons. Ryan Goldman. Red Mesa's Penitentiary's Employee of the Month for the month of June. Carlos Burt. He works a desk job at the prison. He prefers it over going into the dangerous field. Straight Shooter. Legally changed his name to Straight Shooter. He spits hot fire and raps mad lyrics. Respect. Jin Brun. One of the administrators of the prison. She keeps it running in decent condition. John Farn. A rookie to the team. This is the first meeting he's ever attended. John Gritz. Just got back from breaking up a fight between 2 inmates. It didn't go so well. John Saskatchewan. He joined the police force for the action, but they've stuck him behind a desk. John Barley. Failed out of firearms training 3 times. He's technically not allowed to use his weapon outside of the shooting range. Also, I am using Subnautica music because this game decided not to have sounds when you're reading bios. Captain Jeffrey Custard. 30 years ago, a janitor threw out his lunch. He's held a grudge against janitors ever since. Jonas Nugent. He's been quickly moving up the ranks, just needs to pass the marksman exam. Captain Roland Canterbury. The man in charge of all officer trainer at Red Mesa, known to be very strict. Also, the man in charge of all officer trainer? I take it in charge of all officer training? Unknown Hendrix. Always sleeping on the job. Nobody knows his first name. Pete Sound. Notorious for taking food that isn't his from the employee fridge. Sally Q.
She often gets confused for someone else, which is strange because she doesn't even have red hair. Gary Gray, constantly put on evidence duty, his least favorite job. Onius Bungus met a harsh fate many years ago. Phillips White, the city's most prominent defense attorney. He works hard to ensure innocent people are not put away. Hubert Brown, one of the city judges. It's very difficult to tell him apart from other judges in the city. Vladimir von Braun, nemesis to Mr. White. He's pretty cocky in his ability to put criminals away. This often becomes his downfall. Winston Davis. He's been deposed due to his involvement in the Bates break-in. Either way, he won't be going back to his old job anytime soon. Chuck Sammons. He works at Sandwich City and enjoys his free sandwich for lunch every day. Juno Grumpter. He's received jury duty 27 times this year. This should make even the most cheery man cynical. Dane Slaged. Hailing from a foreign country, this is his first time in a big city. Steve Stevens. Grinds away at his office job daily. He dreams of owning a pizza shop. Bert Slim. He's been on the force for 6 years now, and yet there are still days that surprise him. Tom Hardley. He takes this job very seriously. Never seems to take those sunglasses off. Captain Ed Roberts. The chief of police here at Red Mesa. He runs a tight ship and expects the best from all his cadets. Jimothy Pug. Fairly new to the force, does not handle pressure well. Michael Benz. Joined the force at the same time as his best friend. He's the clean-shaven one. Sean. This is his first day back from a nice vacation. You ruined it. Matthew Fletcher. He joined the force at the same time as his best friend. He has a goatee. Henry Stickmin. Life has been rough after breaking out of prison. Time to make some quick cash by stealing the Tunisian diamond. Mayor Fredrickson. The underdog winner of last year's election. He's popular among the citizens because of his love for the arts. Jeff Stickley. He enjoys his rooftop post. It gives him a chance to admire the stars. He considers himself an amateur astronomer. Ted McAdams. He quit working as an armored truck driver after a certain incident. Jacob Rose, the museum's newest hire. He's still in training, so he's not allowed to work unsupervised quite yet. Cliff Nuts. He picked up smoking so he could take more breaks. Conrad Connors. He got the job as a security guard because his friend hooked him up. They tend to work their shifts together. Billy Barnes. He usually manages to work the same shift as his friend. Zach Nutt. Takes this job seriously. Some of his coworkers get annoyed with his constant use of the walkie-talkie. Himbert Schult. Works for the museum on a foreign exchange program. Nobody knows exactly which country he's from. Billy Cludd. Always looking for excuses to use his nightstick. He loves to show off his skills to his coworkers. Sam Turner. They love the guarding aspect of security guard work. Actually dealing with burglars, not so much. Richard Wilkins. He's a hard-working fellow who always tries to do his best. He loves chocolate. Todd Slimmons. It's hard to work odd hours at a museum. Your sleep hours get all messed up. He's doing his best. Rupert Price. His workplace suffered a huge embarrassment. He's determined to work extra hard now. Johnny Panzer. He's risen quickly through the ranks, and it's no surprise. His skills are well above average. Jack Sheen. the only helicopter pilot on the force who can fly to the city and back in under 2 hours. Samuel Mundy. He's not a crazed assassin, but he doesn't work for the police department either. Looks like he was hired for a job. James Lancelot. Frequently eats at those medieval restaurants. Claims his family used to be nobles way back when. Dave Panpa. He was fired from his previous job for negligence. He bounced back quickly though and found a new job as a security guard. Kurt Dietrich. This guy hates going to work, not to mention they paired him with some annoying newbie. Yeah. Joseph Joe. He may not like it, but he's a scrappy guy. He's not itching for a fight, but he won't back down if challenged. Timothy Lewis. Goes by Tim. His work shift usually involves running a nightly patrol. Alexander Garb. He's scared of heights and birds. Oh no, the pterodactyl victim. Tony Franz. He's secretly in the mafia. He got placed here so that he could launder money. Clyde Jenkins. A standard level employee at the Center for Chaos Containment. CCC protocol requires you to run action by a superior officer. Corporal Bill Bullitt. The person in charge at the Center for Chaos Containment Central Branch. He's pretty lax and trusts his agents to do their jobs well. Henry Stickmin. Captured by the government, he's been given the chance to clear his name by taking down the notorious Top Hat clan. Captain Delforce. The man in charge of the undercover Top Hat raid. It was his idea to recruit Henry. Charles Calvin, a veteran helicopter pilot for the government. He's one of the youngest and most experienced pilots. Rupert Price. He's moved up through the ranks quickly. He felt he could do more in the military than he was as a policeman. Reginald Copperbottom, the current leader of the Top Hat clan. He wears the hat of the previously dethroned leader. Right-hand man. He's the Top Hat's chief's right hand. Nobody knows his true name. Jeffrey Plum. His abnormally large head makes it difficult for him to see. Sledge McRush. He can swing a sledgehammer faster than most people swing a blade. Hans Spearman. A bit of a loose cannon, he's known for stabbing wildly with great range. Hatchman. Nicknamed as such because he watches the hatch, like a doorman, but for hatches. Slice. Took a blade to the face during an encounter. Now he prefers to stay behind the scenes. Winston Davis. Lost his truck driving job due to multiple investigations after stowaway was found inside the bank. Magnus Eriksson. An eager new member looking to move up in the ranks. Floyd Winters. He picked out the most stylish hat he could find when he joined. Dreams of opening a worm farm one day. Durbert Daniels. He's been hooked on the hot new mobile game called Between Us Two. Douglas Merle. He's not a big fan of being airborne. He's looking to transfer to a different division. Wilhelm Krieges. He's pretty sharp when it comes to technology. The airship's doors are just notoriously finicky. Handsome Harold. He considers himself the face of the Top Hats. With 18 charisma, he's good at talking his way out of a bad situation. Or 18 cha. Alcohol. Alcohol? Is that what it is? A novice photographer. He took up one of the rooms of the airship to develop his photos to perfection. Matthew Norbert. He joined the Top Hats because he couldn't really think of anything better to do. Benjamin Borsius. Loves playing single-player, linear story, heavy video games. Oh wait. Loves playing single-player, linear, story-heavy video games. I paused weirdly. Thomas Chestershire. He wears 2 modules for twice the class. Isn't that a bionicle? Oldman. He's actually not that old, but the gray hair caused everyone to give him the nickname. Herb Stokes, a master crane operator. He's invented 4 tricks you can only do with a crane. And now, the rest of it should already be recorded. I did one extra just in case. Cool Katie. She gave herself the title Cool Katie. Will it stick? Two-Ton Tony. He switched from the Mafia to the Top Hat clan. They had more flexible hours and more stylish gear. Koopa Joe. He volunteered for the tech support job so that he could be alone and mess around on the computer. Terrence Suave, the previous leader of the Top Hat clan. He was overthrown because of his reckless nature and poor leadership. Sir Wilford IV. Fourth of his name, one of the strongest leaders in Top Hat clan history. Billy G. He was quite the romantic, despite multiple claims that he's not my lover. Oh god. Strength. A failed experiment in resurrecting a long-dead leader didn't last long before he turned on everyone. Jar Spence. He's secretly been considering leaving the Top Hat clan. Manuel Friend. He was so eager to finally fly on the airship, it was his dream ever since he joined the Top Hat clan. Harry Butts. He'll never admit it, but he joined the Top Hat clan to get back at everyone that made fun of his name growing up. Runda Pounda. Rounded down to pound ya, his catchphrase. Mr. Blanc. Blantz? I don't know. Was on track for a doctorate, but ran into financial troubles. He joined the Top Hat clan in hopes of funding himself again. Matt Damper. He follows orders, all his money goes into his flower shop back home. Fletz Hamley. A meathead. Unleash him and he's like a mad dog. Nurto Tadje. He learned the secret technique to running way faster. Plus it makes it harder to get hit by bullets. Bob Haas. This is his first mission outside of training. He's really worried he won't do a good job. Joe Hunter. He was hoping to see some action in the Top Hat mission. Good thing Henry failed then. Ryu. He joined the Top Hat clan in hopes of traveling the world to find the strongest fighters. Kent. He was betrayed by his friend who left the academy to join the Top Hat clan. He hopes to bring him back. Samuel Mundy. He was contracted out in case a large battle with the Top Hats broke out. Jack Latouche. A sneaky devil, he tries to disguise himself as a member of the enemy ranks, though his top hat never disappears. Mr. Brimley. Wears his hat super low, which makes it a bit difficult to see, honestly. Sammy Sorry. He refuses to ever apologize for anything, on principle. Nate Botts. He was called into action before he passed his close quarters combat training. Quick Draw. One of the fastest shooters in the Top Hat clan. His accuracy is not so good though. Goo Guy. One awkward conversation about goo on your first day and that's all you're known for. Wilson Stone. The director of his branch of the CCC. His employees agree he is one of the best CCC directors. Larry Gordon. For someone who works at a center for chaos containment, he doesn't take the news of chaos very well. Abigail Stone. Wife of Wilson Stone. His time away can be tough, but they've weathered many years together. Timmy Stone. son of Wilson and Abigail Stone. He loves spending time with his dad when he comes back from work. Mert Still, creator of the mobile suit prototype, along with his brother. He sketched up the schematics and did the math. Kurt Still. Kurt and Mert, creator of the mobile suit prototype, along with his brother. He constructed and engineered the suits. I can't see that one for some reason. For one reason or another, he's been captured by the Toppat clan and now sits in their brig. Dave Pampa. Henry Stickmin. Back in jail, huh? The icy cold cells of the wall will be hard to escape from. Ellie Rose. She's locked up in this place too, but why? 75. Dmitry Jonas Petrov. The warden of the wall. There hasn't been any sort of breakout in the 50 years he's been in charge. Grigory Olyat, the warden's second in command and main muscle. He gets brought in for the difficult jobs. Charles Calvin. He doesn't mind helping out an old ally, even if he's currently on a mission. Reginald Copperbottom. Seems he's been managing the Toppats in Henry's absence. He'll have to go back to being second soon. He guards the storage room with his friends. They love to talk about their favorite mobile card game. Isaac Benderson. Heathstone. Yeah, okay. Isaac Benderson. He guards the storage room with his friends. He loves collecting random trinkets. Horace Johnson. One of the guards responsible for cell block patrol. It's not that eventful unless all the doors happen to open. Mike Mulligan. Kind of a slacker. He likes to find a secluded place and mess around on his phone. Ibram Jocelyn. A jolly lad. When in a good mood, he treats his friends to lunch on their break. Joris Borger. Doesn't speak English too well, but he's found a crew at work that he loves to hang out with. Bergier? I don't know. Travis He enjoys his job at the wall because he gets to hang out and chill with his friends. That doesn't mean he slaps off. Olaf Nordgren. He usually makes his own lunch, but he won't turn down a free meal. Nikolai Dmitri. Or Dietrim, actually. Dietrim, yeah, yes. A master of the slap squat. He runs a class on it twice a week in the rec room. Matthias Guardsmith. Don't tell anyone, but his mom bought him those earmuffs and he's a bit embarrassed about it. Gary Man. Captain Laszlo Udovich. The captain of the naval division of the Wall. He is in charge of one ship, the only one the Wall has. Milish Krakowski. Krakowski? I don't know. Krakowski is what I'll go with. A recruit in the Wall's naval forces. They run sea-based retrieval operations. Thormund Rillick. He finds his work post fairly dull and uneventful. He relishes a challenge. Frederick Spielen. One in a group of members that doesn't speak any English. He supposedly speaks German. Harold Cooper. Got the job at the Wall through his German friend. His English isn't the best, but he's fluent in German. I can barely speak English. Half the time. Will Speck. He's the type of guy that won't stop trash talking the other team when watching a sports game, even if they can't hear. Louis Stoop. He likes his job at the Wall, but hates being stationed out in the cold. Kroka Kolinsky. He used to fight professionally, but after losing to a first-time fighter, he hung it up to work at the Wall. Andre Wozo. People have said he used to lead armies. He really knows his way around a taint, so maybe there's some truth. Karlov Chernik, a master swordsman hired by the wall to train the employees. His skill with a blade is sometimes something to behold. Carl Pinkerton. He may not look it, but he's traveled the world. His head's looking like an orange in it. Newt Stonehill. The Stonehill family is known for their strangely dense feet. Bransford. Honestly, he's pretty clueless most of the time. He's just meant to look menacing with a spear. Danil Dolch. He's lived in the area all his life and really knows how to handle the environment. Limoy Fruits. They call him DK for a while. It's short for doesn't know how to drive. He's since gotten his license. Jimothy Johnson. They've never had to take the cars out before, so he's really just winging it. Lee Bumbler. He's dreaming of starting his own gaming company. He's already got a name picked out, named after himself. Bumbler? Willie Wagner. A fairly recent employee of the Wall, still getting into the swing of things. Nadia Meritova. She's here as part of an internship. Her real dream is to open up her own complex. Wallace Pemberton. He spent 3 years undercover at the Wall, waiting for the right time to bust out all the captured Top Hat members. Jim Pinkson. He loves jelly and jelly sandwiches. There's so many possible combinations. Kato Ito. He's known how to bend since childhood. He's kept it a secret until this moment. Ryan Halberd. One of the youngest employees at the Wall. His dad is one of the higher ups, so he gets special treatment. Joe Joshin. Just joshing ya. He's heard that joke about 7 million times. Gordon Smith. Having a newborn at home causes him to lose a lot of sleep. He's been falling asleep at work a lot lately. Joey Walnut. Tends to order enough food for 3 people and eat it all on his own. Solomon. He forgets to bring his uniform into work at least once a week. Sten Villo. His favorite post is on the fire escape. He can watch the snow fall into the ocean below. Gertrude Johnson. He gets a lot of slack for wearing sunglasses at night. That's just his style, baby. Alex Chimter. He's been trying to get a SAM turret installed in the complex for years, but can't get through the I don't know how to say that word. Bureaucracy? Arnold Swartz. Always the loudest one in the room. His voice is booming for his size. Wilhelm Kriegis. He may struggle with technology, but when it comes to action and combat, he excels. Sure Shot Sherman, one of the top riflemen in the Top Hat clan. He's leading the mission to rescue Henry. Thomas Chestershire. He enjoyed Henry's brief leadership. People could tell he was bummed out when Henry went missing. Mr. Cool. He rarely speaks, his charisma speaks for him. Wild Willie. He thinks he's a prospector from the 1800s. Seems he went of a bit of a rampage, granting him a stay at the Wall. Gastro. A practitioner of the dark arts of Fechromancy. He's a toilet wizard. Ponkhauser. He's part of a notorious German biker gang. He's the only member to have been caught so far. Uba. Found frozen deep in the snow of Svalbard. After thawing out, he regained consciousness and became hostile. Angry Mike. A wanderer traveling in the desert, he became notorious in the area and had to be collected. Jat Stickeye. A crazy loud Irishman. Not quite sure what he did to get locked up here, but he probably deserves it. Gus Garno. This guy is a four-armed alien. Apparently, he used to be a big-time racer. Ace Apex. The raddest dude at the wall, just a total bro. Melvin Pullridge. Even though he's extremely nerdy, he loves hanging out with the boys. Trademark. Derek Grorelich doesn't have much of a sense of humor, at least during work hours. Colby Phelps thinks of himself as something of a detective. He can easily become hostile if he suspects any foul play. Dan the Man. He wanted to go by Dan of Steel, but it was taken. Lil Mikey. He is honestly not supposed to be locked up at the wall. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time and took the fall for someone else. Pierre Francois, the most notorious baguette burglar in France. He was finally captured when he tried to take down the biggest bakery in all of France. Babushka. While babushka is a female term, he wears the title with pride. He has a soft interior and looks out for the downtrodden. Carl the Clown. He ran a huge circus scam 10 years ago. He avoided the bust multiple times by dressing like a clown. Polis Petrovich. He won a sweepstakes and got to name a plant after himself. Cal Baxter. He's actually the Wall CCC license. Their goal is to get priority during any possible chaos incidents. Sean C. Lemming. A natural leader mainly because it's the role he was assigned. Mark Emu. Also, I guess S.E. Lemming. Mark Emu. He said he'd try not to laugh, but then he laughed. That's grounds for capture. Misha Sashova. Sashavo, I guess. I don't know. He used to be part of a crazy group of mercenaries. He was the only one to be captured, and he's honestly probably the most sane one now. Peter Whalens. He did one of those scare people to bring down the land value so he could buy it for cheap ruses, but was foiled by a group of kids and their dog. Ray Rudolfo. He's come down with a case of leprosy, so he's been put in quarantine with the other sickly inmates. Okay, we are on to the final set of bios. 222 remain. Henry Stickmin. What could happen next? Reginald Copperbottom. Being the leader of the Top Hat clan is something he takes a lot of pride in. Right-hand man reborn. His defeat by Henry left him in bad shape. Cybernetic surgery brought him back stronger than ever before. Ellie Rose. After escaping from the wall, things have really opened up. What is in store for her? Liam Rogers. An elite helicopter pilot. He usually calls dibs on the bigger helicopters. Vance Kite. He's heard it all. Don't try to talk your way out of an arrest with this guy. Jack Dugan. A sniper from New Zealand. He was specifically recruited by the Top Hat clan in an Avengers-esque in-credit scene. Frankie Pizza. Frankie Pizza. I don't know. He dreamed of playing for the Boston Celtics, but his basketball skills were never good enough. Norm Hetzer. Tech specialist in the government's ranks. He designed this EMP system. Howard Lipton. If he doesn't have his morning tea, then he is completely useless in the field. Victoria Grit. One of the strongest captains in the Top Hat raid. She has several successful missions under her belt. Gerald Gruff. His voice is about 2 octaves below average. Billy Brown. For 7 years, he's never washed behind his ears. Orban Lamp. He's very high strung. Being a soldier might not be a good career path for him. Dandelions. Dandelions? Or dandelions, I guess. Yeah. He's found the perfect combination of laundry detergents. The scent is the most amazing thing. Major Herschel Panzer. This is the first time his combat suit is in the field. He has a son working hard in the police force. Lucas Broomhandle. The youngest of 5 siblings. He takes to a new hobby every week. June, July. She was born in August. Timu Simoy. He grew up in Finland, so he doesn't require sunlight to function properly. Ali Andarin. He's addicted to baking shows. He always tries to bake alone, but fails after 10 minutes. Geriatrics. He's getting up there in age, but he still has spry and any youngin. As spry as any youngin in the squad. Merrill Goldenfold. He's always wanted to grow a cool beard, but never quite comes in all the way. Anthony Lee. When he was 3, he ate a bumblebee. Frederick Munster? I don't know. His hat is literally made of cheese. Nobody will bunk with him. All part of the plan. Smooshed Sammy. Smooshed? I don't know. His first day in the Topak clan, he fell on his hat and it got smooshed. The name just kinda stuck. Pablo Sleuth. An ace detective in the Topak ranks. There's no problem he can't eventually solve, and he's always armed. There are so many. Captain H.J. Canterbury. He's one of the men in charge of information gathering. He has a brother who works in the police force. Thomas Chips. His father, Alan, is the co-founder of the Electronics Entertainment Expo. Filbert. He's part of the checkpoint inspection team, but he really wanted to just sit on the train. Jim Polk. He's the type of person that always passes out on a trip. Darius Johnsonite. He is a gemstone appraiser within the Topak clan. He evaluates how much their stolen gems are worth. Mr. Job. He was going to start his own computer business, but was beaten to the punch by someone with the same name. Joan Stone. Hold the phone. Is that Joan Stone, the one that owns all the loans? Al the Pal. His high charisma made him a valuable member of the clan. Nobody has ever reported having issues with him. Stanley Grass. He has 2 blades of grass growing out of the top of his head, and he's very sensitive about it. Wallace Dagwood. He used to be on the front line, but took a bad hit to the face. He's been running more of a support role since. Ice Pick. Since he's stationed in a snowy environment, he wanted a cool nickname. Now he's stuck with it. Sten Lundgren. A regular at this establishment, he comes in every day to read the newspaper and have a cup of coffee. Helmut Vikov. Fresh out of a bar fight, he's been laying there for a solid 3 hours. Harry Sherman. He likes collecting the bottles from all the patrons. He works a long shift every day, so he's usually pretty cool. Mysterious Vagabond. A drifter who's come into town lately. Seems like he's not just passing through. Kane West. He was in the music production business, but one plagiarism accusation later, he gave up and joined the Top Hats. Right-hand man. He still serves as Reginald's number 2. His extreme loyalty is what a Top Hat member should strive for. Sal Malone. He used to be in the Mafia but wanted to branch out because he felt there were already too many Italians. Mr. Lincoln. He's not related to the president, he just looks a lot like him. Whitehead. He wanted to be named after a snake, but most people just think of pimples when they hear his name. Patty Pride. Purple is his favorite drink. Henry Stickmin. Stickman. He kept getting harassed for being a criminal. Eventually he became fed up and joined the Top Hats to make it true. B. Hampton. The head concierge at the Stickmin Space Resort. He was one of the first Top Hats to convert and help with the transition of the others. Carlos Candela. He's bad at pool, like really bad at pool. I mean, look at that technique, just sad. Elizabeth Greeny. I don't know. She's here on her honeymoon, one of the Stickmin Space Resort's most common bookings. Lars Greeny. He's here with his wife for their honeymoon. Both of them have always wanted to go to space. Snowcap. He picked a far-off station so that he wouldn't need to do much work. Clement Warrentine. He was fed up driving trucks for a living, so he turned to smuggling. Now he's one of the Top Hat's best drivers. Mr. Macbeth. He's often been compared to an ape, which he takes as a compliment. He hates it when people don't take him seriously. Blash Connors. His ego is one of the biggest in the entire Top Hat clan. Matilda Ivy. She has probably the coolest hair out of any Top Hat member, and she knows it. M.F. Jones. If you mess with him, he will mess you up. His full name is Milhouse Fillmore Jones. Bartolomeo? I don't know. An opera singer who was refused payment after a show. The Top Hat clan offered him the revenge he was seeking. Larry the Guy. Why are you asking about cables? He doesn't know anything about that. Grunt. He showed up to the Top Hat clan dressed like this. They're not going to turn down a great fighter though. Mischievous Martin. Part of the planning division in the Top Hat clan, he used to run legendary pranks. Mr. Till. He thinks his hat is Till, but it's more of a cyan, really. Don Miguel. His RPG character owns a magical shop. Or was it a ship? General Force. The results of the airship raid seem to have led to a large promotion. He's now a specialist in dealing with the Top Hats. Charles Calvin. He is experienced with multiple different types of flying vehicles. He gets brought in for special missions only. Smoker Tyson. A chain smoker if I ever saw one. He smokes a pack an hour, but it gives him some kind of power. Marty O. Every time he jumps, he makes a super loud noise like a tennis player. Louis G. Even though he's taller, he's always been in his brother's shadow. He really doesn't mind though. The Witch. The Top Hat clan's main herbalist. She's totally embraced her nickname so she can be rather odd. Sheriff. Just one of the main political figures of the Top Hat clan. Figures the Top Hat clan has in their pocket. The Ruffian. He's usually out on the front lines for the Top Hat clan. His hat has taken lots of damage over the years. 10-10-10. He can only say one word. The details are unclear, but I think time travel is involved. Don Hunter. He loves rock, paper, scissors, but always throws rock. Losing never crushes his spirits, though. Chin Janpan. He's got a hole in his face and is a master of rock, paper, scissors. People feel weaker after losing to him. Carl Cross. One of the higher ups in the clan, she is extremely strict and by the books. You don't want to cross her. Stu Pendulous. Pendulous? Yeah, I don't know. A series of events has caused him to owe money to Carl Cross. This is very bad for him. Bucket hat. Bucket hat. Smile face. 5 eyes. He wears glasses, so he should be called 4 eyes. Where's the 5th eye? Talon Circus. He was recruited out of the circus. He's an acrobatic wizard and really difficult to deal with in a fight. Crusher. He can crush an apple in his bare hand. That's about it. The Magician. He can pull your spleen right out of his hat. He used to be a professional wrestler, but that ended very poorly. Mr. Fatlip. He's got a pretty bad lisp. He's not actually a big fan of his nickname, but it's really hard to change these things. Star. He dibs the name after the previous star was defeated. Jeremy Steinfeld. He lives in an apartment in New York and wonders what the deal with everything is. Jeff Constanza. He's very neurotic and constantly causing problems for himself. Eduardo Giancarlo, a master pickpocket. He actually sought out the Top Hat clan and joined them. Usually it's the other way around. Topbot, a top-of-the-line robot built for missions that go hot. Hannibal Burns. You can never tell if he's paying attention because he always looks so relaxed. Smokestack. People think the nickname is because of the hat, but actually he's a pyromaniac. Dusty. He had one of the longest runs as leader of the Top Hats. He moved so slowly people often thought he was dead. Cloudface. He lost his position as leader because people couldn't understand his commands through his beard. Randy Radman. Ran the Top Hat clan through the party era. Things were a blast until they were bankrupt. Reynaldo the Brute. Reynaldo. I don't know. One of the fiercest leaders the Top Hat clan has ever had. Unfortunately, he was lost in combat. Sir Wilfred IV. He defeated the previous leader to claim the title. He despises incompetence. Terrence Suave. One of the worst leaders the Top Hat clan has ever had. He would launch raids that made no sense just for the thrill. Mr. Skyscraper. He's got a tall hat, so of course he needs a tall nickname. Earrings. Her earrings function for battle purposes besides looks. They can blind people with a bright flash. Red Crimson. He thinks his nickname is awesome, but it's pretty redundant if you ask me. Jats Kensington. A bit of an eccentric leader. He always walked around with his gold deedle in his hand. Gus Brits. Hits the Brits, pal, you're done. He said that joke about 80 times during their arrest. Sir Hattie. He's always crying. People think it's from the loss of his old friends. Chip Crumb. He got some crappy second-hand top hat when he joined. He's really been rethinking his membership lately. Brian Reynolds. He could have been a model, but wanted to do something more important with his life. John Frog Pilson. A master when it comes to stealth and infiltration. Greh. Gordon Ill Baines. A tech wizard. If it's electronic, he can work his magic. Amelia Turtle Esteban. A demolitions expert. She loves blowing stuff up and hates when things take too long. Yeah. Mr. Goldblum. He used to be a CEO before he was found embezzling funds to the Top Hat clan. Howie Howitzer. He was an orphan taken in by the Top Hat clan. They gave him a name in hopes he'd live up to it. He hasn't. Pink Man. He's not affiliated with any chemistry teachers or cartels, he just has a pink hat. Ambert Downs. This is his first tour and he knew it would be a doozy. Rupert Price. He's been going on more and more intense missions ever since his police days. Bort Sampson. He thought he had a unique name, but he's met at least 5 other Borts. Mr. Lick. One of the Top Hat's best chefs. He makes the fattest burgers and juiciest steaks. Peanut. It's ironic because he has a peanut allergy. The Leprechaun. He totally embraces his appearance. He's even adopted a terrible fake Irish accent to complete the ensemble. Al Jean. Him be like wicked mental, bid up yourself. Antonidas Sparta. He can get through a solid steel beam with ease. Right Hand Man Blue. He's been rewired to protect Henry at all costs. The Top Hat loyalty is so deep, can it really be completely removed? Stephen Willis. He doesn't do combat at all, but he's often needed to run as support. Wayne the Stone Jensen. Headstrong, he's been wanting to take leadership for a while, he just hasn't found the right opportunity. Rock Cool Steve Dallas. He's been waiting for a leadership position to open up. He's not going to let it slip out from under him now. Dill Tally. He's always wanted to go on a stealth mission. He tries to be stealthy in every mission he goes on to make up for it. Alice Hamilton, the evening reporter at BCC. She's a fairly new reporter, but she's been doing a great job. Bert Curtis, the head of communications in the Top Hat clan. He's the liaison between the leaders and the rest of the recon team. The Marble Man. He's not shone like marbles, he just likes marbles. Wilhelm Kreitis. He's been Top Hat member for over 40 years. His English has improved throughout the years, but he still has an accent. Bloodhound, a master at hunting down people and objects. He is the guy responsible for filling up the bridge with bounties. Tane Flargenstone. There we go. His hat wobble technique is something to behold. Sarah Conifers. She is a firm believer that AI will one day try to take over the world. Waxwell Getz. His parents named him after a lizard, or was it a gecko? Pendle Toad. His favorite ice cream is Rocky Road. Elmer Pisano. He moved out to the middle of nowhere to start fresh. I don't think it's going so well. Marcus Blabbert. Talk like this, he does. Not sure why I am. Gremlin. He's extremely scrappy and feisty. It's rumored she grew up. Did I say he or she? She's extremely scrappy and feisty. It's rumored she grew up on her own in the woods. Mr. Villain. He speaks and behaves like a 1920s movie villain. I don't know if that started before or after he joined the Top Hats. Hazmat. He really wants a hazmat suit. He's preemptively claimed this name, but who knows how long it'll take to get the suit. Arnold Swars. An elite Top Hat member, his commanding voice is perfect for leading men into battle. Jen Fredrickson. He used to be a mayor, but fled when plans to smuggle a large diamond out of a museum were uncovered. By the way, welcome Ninja Casano. Sorry, I was distracted trying to get through all these because I have like 20 minutes left. Albert Poshley, one of the wealthiest Top Hat members, he tends to fund most of the expensive operations for high profit. And I don't want to try pronouncing where you said hello from because I will completely botch that. But yeah, I have about 20 minutes left of this, just these final 5 pages. I finished the game already, and I'll be uploading it to YouTube later on. Jack Human, an up-and-coming member in the Top Hat clan. He has yet to make a name for himself. Paul Ashcott. His entire career has just been delivering bad news. Holy Cap. The hole in his hat was caused by the laser incident. The Bookie. The man in charge of cooking the books in the Top Hat clan. He's a big stickler for rules and keeping things in order. Chuck Wellington. His great-grandfather is the inventor of beef, allegedly. Fred Finestone. He always runs around barefoot and shouts a super loud catchphrase. People tend to avoid him. Dr. Vince Kinsilston, a solo practitioner that specializes in cybernetic surgery. She travels the world in her boat, which doubles as her workstation. Reference. A short-range spirit. If you are punched by him, you are sent into an alternate timeline. He can also swap places with Henry. Matt Dandy. His forgery skills are top of the line. His forged paintings are a big source of income for the Top Hat clan. Ham Bag. He was down on his luck selling ham out of a bag when he was found by Top Hats. Blueberry. He only eats blueberries. Nobody has ever seen him eat anything else. Thomas Cheshire. He preferred it when Henry was leader of the Top Hat clan. Hat Girl. She kinda just appeared and joined the ranks. People have said they saw her in a spaceship or something. Handsome Harold. He's in charge of keeping the Top Hat's collection of information organized. Jeffrey Plum. He's always been an ideas guy. His head is just big though. It's not because of an extra large brain. Miss Demeanor. She's very proud of her name, but she was too lazy to check if it's been used before. Barbershop Bill. Even though he wears a barbershop hat, he sucks at cutting hair and is even worse at singing a cappella. Alfonso Cruz. Pronouncing the sound is very important. So, Alfonso Cruz. He gets offended if you pronounce it as Alfonso. Floyd Winters. Unfortunately, his friend Harry doesn't show up in this game. Dave Pantha. He spent a long time in a Top Hat cell. His life will probably never be the same. Matteo Dirtchev. One of 3 people at the wall that actually knows how to operate a tank. Dmitry Jonas Petrov. He lost quite a few teeth in the escape incident, so he now speaks with a lisp. 10 pence. When he joined the Top Hat clan, he only had 10p to his name. He keeps the name to remember his origins. Wheat Sauce. He's been on the verge of getting kicked out of the clan multiple times. Mr. Angry. This guy has an actual anger problem. It doesn't help him fight or anything. It mostly just distracts everyone. Dima Pinsky. This is his first time ever being out of the country. He didn't know there was this much green in the whole galaxy. Dolan Turkov. He has a personal vendetta against the Toppat clan, so he made sure to come on this mission. Todd Tatter. He used to be a Spudson, but he married into the Tatter family. Bill Cook. Before he joined the military, he lived in a that with way too many people. Conrad Bukowski. He joined the military with his twin. They've always been on missions as a pair. Calvin Bukowski. He joined the military with his twin. They've always been on missions as a pair. Bob Pants. His father was a pants salesman, but he broke tradition and went into the military. Paul Penn. He claims he's related to Sean Penn, but has never been able to prove it. Ivan Petrokeva. He forgot to switch out of his Ushanka before coming into the jungle and sprinting up a bunch of stairs. Gregory Oliet. His arm is still freshly broken after being hit by a car during the escape incident. Stoneface. You will never get an emotion out of his face. Quincy Tattlemuffin. His family has been in the Toppat clan for generations. They've never really made a name for themselves though. Fred Worst. He really is just the worst. Nacy Popo. She's been going on mountain climbing expeditions in the area. Nobody has attempted to map the mountains here. Natasha Tadden. She's hanging out with her pal, Travis, at the tavern every week. Maybe one day she'll get the courage to ask him out. Travis DeGroot. He lost his eye in an explosive incident. He used to be a mercenary, but gave up that life when the updates stopped coming. Josh Taylor. He's really excited to be part of such a big mission. You could say he's a bit overconfident. Drake Camper, a relatively new recruit. He hasn't really learned all the ropes yet, including the ones about loose lips sinking ships. Quentin Albister. He's had a couple greenhorns placed under his watch, and he's sick of babysitting them. Hank Stockman. He keeps calm in any situation, or at least it appears that way because of his sweet shades. Hayden Brock. He gets bored easily and realizes that making bets makes things more interesting. Mad Lad. He starts his day with a nice can of Krapow energy drink. Andrew Cobbler. The engineer in charge of Big Boy. He got stuck on an issue with it and wasn't able to fix it in time for the raid. Dijon Pangelo. The main operator of Big Boy. He'd been coming to terms with not being able to pilot Big Boy into the raid today. Timothy Turner. He used to have 2 imaginary friends when he was younger. Brock Hollowitz. Just one more tour, then I can go home and be with my family. Elias Batchin. I don't know. He mans one of the many CCC mobile units. There are hundreds of these scattered throughout the world. Phantom. His suit allows him to turn invisible, and he's able to pinpoint locations for nuclear strikes with his rifle. Joe Gonzalez. I think Gonzalez. What works? He's been a gamer since 2008, but only plays free-to-play games. You can catch him wearing the default hat. Peter Maryville. He always wears a helmet. You never know when a stray bullet might come flying. Uber Crib. He has a pretty good stats for the cost. He's also pretty good with can't be targeted adapt. Beans. He's just thinking about those beans. Curly Brown, one of the smartest Toppat members. He has a PhD in cartoon logic and physics. Dr. Glass. He's not actually a doctor, actually. Nobody calls him doctor. Can we please get this title changed? Please. Dev. This guy is seedy, even for a Toppat member. Keep this on the down low, but I heard they're planning to cut ties with him. Barry Bruh. When it comes to frantically clamoring for weapons, he can't be beat. One of the many... Baya number 503, one of the many Bayas. He always strives to improve his hot dog eating and bud collecting skills. Ellery, the fusion of Henry and Ellie. They have the fierceness of Ellie and the luck of Henry. Tibbetts, he towers over his other Top Hat members. He always engages in the pre-fight banter. Pophead Top. Popid Top. He couldn't figure out how to fix his top hat, so now people just call him Popid Top. Cool Joe. He managed to make it back after being locked up at the wall for several years. Good thing there was a breakout. Orange Hat Kid. He's thought of a dance that also works as a great exercise move. Toby Mac. This guy is too cool for school. The ladies just can't stay away. Pasta Primavera. He's formed a crew here in the Top Hat clan. They all got their start in Italy. Figaro Mulligatawny, I don't know. Part of a small Italian crew, they all Top Hat clan at the same time. Parmesa Lasagna. I don't know. Lasagna? Him and his crew joined the Top Hat clan at the behest of their boss. Link. He used to be a hero, but then he took an arrow to the chest and was in the hospital for 3 weeks. Long. He just lost the game. Crabman. He claims the batteries in his back pockets give him great dancing abilities. Conky Dawn. If he shoots you, it's gonna hurt. Mr. Unstoppable. He's been extremely lucky since he joined the Top Hats. Will it last? Jonathan Bravo. I don't know if it's intentionally or not, but he sounds exactly like Elvis Presley. Cowboy. He couldn't come up with a very interesting nickname. He just got fixated on the word cowboy, so he settled. Ziggy. His top hat is actually a giant cigarette. He's gotta make sure he stays away from fire. Tommy Partridge. He will help Top Hat raid plans by creating animatics that break down all the details of the plan to aid success. And finally, Sleepy Dog. Hang around him too long and you start acting funny. So that is all the BIOS and all the achievements for the Henry Stickmin Collection. That has every ending, spell, and BIOS. And so all of this is going to be uploaded on YouTube, and some of it already is because it's been a while, but we finally finished it. I did this for 4.5 hours. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Peace.